Hey Gearheads! Thanks for tuning in. On this episode of Dan's Garage, we have replaced the camshaft and got the truck running again. And it sounds really good. So stay tuned for that and some bloopers at the end. Hey Dan, run that intro!
It's been a little bit of time since I've worked on the engine. I actually had the Chevelle's rear end out and rebuilt that. Hopefully you watched that video that should have preceded this one. So, as with anything in the garage, if it sits around long enough without moving, it will get covered. So, step one is cleaning out this area, getting the engine out here so we can work on it. So let's get to that. I keep forgetting I haven't even drained the oil out of this motor yet, so let's see what that looks like. Shall we? Remember, this motor's been sitting since 2002. It's 2019. Pretty black. It is moving though, so that's not bad. We're gonna let that drain for a while and then rotate the engine. Alright guys, so I actually got a little nervous halfway through ripping this thing apart, wondering about the smoke that we saw when I was moving the truck into the garage. So I started wondering the condition of the inside of the motor, basically the rings and the valve seals, and was wondering why it was smoking and if that was something I needed to look into before I go ahead and put the cam in it. So I did a compression test. I have this little compression tester here. I hooked up my booster in my little starter box. So cranked it around, so I checked all the cylinders, and basically what I got is 4 of the cylinders were at 120. 2 of them were at 125 and 2 of them are at 130. So 120 to 130, not a bad range, not showing me that there's really any one cylinder that's way lower, meaning that any of the rings are shot. And don't really know about the valve seals at this point, but I'm really thinking, after discussing with my buddy Mike, who just tuned up the Chevelle for me, I'm really thinking that it's just because the engine was sitting since 2002. And it's just because the insides of everything on the truck were just not happy because they weren't running. So talking to Mike about it, he said, well, if you already got the cam and the numbers are that close, he's like, I would just go ahead and put the cam in it and put it back in and see how it is. I know that none of the rings are terribly broken up or loose or anything like that. So we're just going to go ahead and put the cam in it, put it back in the truck, run it for a little while. We'll see how the cam break-in goes. We'll keep an eye on the smoke. And then if we need to, once the truck's in, once the engine is in the truck, we can always just go ahead and pull these valve covers back off, and I can do the valve stem seals at that point, and that would help with that. So we're going to move forward, and we're going to get back to ripping the front end of this engine off, and we'll see what else we can get off of it right now, and then we'll get to putting that cam in and see where we're at after that. Looks like we know where some of that stuff came from. Plus, that's a little loose for a timing chain. I seem to remember something about this from the 80s when I worked on engines, that there was these like nylon timing chain gears. I'm gonna have to do some research. If you know anything about it, go ahead and throw in a comment, but obviously this is a huge problem when these things wear out. So I think we will be going for a new timing chain set. Alright, so when you're pulling the cam out, you just want to go very slow so you don't score any of the bearings. And then of course, as soon as you get past the bearing, you're going to hit the lobes. So you just gotta try and keep it as centered as possible and just go slow so you try not to score anything. So the trick here is just go real slow and try not to hit any of the bearings. If any of them are dislodged or really crazy scored, you may need to replace them. Last one. It's a little sticky. Alright, so looking at the gear for the distributor, doesn't look too bad. A little bit of metal on there, and I bet we know where that metal came from. You can see this is the lobe that is gone. So there's nothing on that at all. So we're going to put a new camshaft in it, put everything back together, and see what happens. Now this is basically a step above stock cam. I looked on YouTube and found some good sounds on it, a little lopey. So this is
This is the specs on it, if you can see that. It's intake 296, exhaust 311, 288, 298 duration. Alright, so again, you want to go very slowly installing it. You see how nicely that goes in. Grab the end. And this is even where you got to be more careful going in, because you really don't want a lot of that assembly lube getting on the bearings. You want the oil to be on there, so make sure your fingers aren't in the way. Alright, and there it is. New camshaft is in. I got the double timing chain on, double row timing chain on, covers on. It's basically ready to be painted. I just got to mask it, scuff it, and paint it. Hey Gearheads, I think we're actually ready to go. We're going to get this thing started today. So it's been a little while since I've been here. As you can see, I got a piercing, I got a purple beard, Corona's going on, everything's been crazy around the house, tree fell on it, but got some time to get back to this. So the engine is in, everything's buttoned up as best as I can tell right now. We'll find out in a minute when we start it. We've got to break in the cam, got a new battery for it, got my gas can in the passenger compartment where it belongs, so it should be nice and safe. So we're going to go ahead and crank it over. We're going to hope that it starts right up. We'll go ahead and break in the cam for about 20 minutes, revving between 2,500 and 3,500 RPM. So we're going to see how it goes, cross our fingers, and hopefully it doesn't blow up. Alright, so that was great. So a little freaky there. So basically what the deal is I don't want to break in the cam just yet. The reason being is the front end of the engine is not on. I really want everything together. I want the coolant to be flowing through the water pump and all that stuff, but just wanted to kind of test it to make sure it was going to run, and I'll go ahead and break in the cam when I have a friend here to help out, watch, make sure we have no leaks, and do all that. Hey Gearheads, we are ready to start this engine. We're going to break in the cam. Was just checking it out. I thought it was 20 minutes. They say 20 to 30 minutes, bringing it between 2,000 and 2,500 RPM. So I got my buddy Larry here. There's a second set of eyes to kind of keep an eye on the engine, make sure nothing's leaking. Hopefully nothing will blow up, and we'll see how it goes. So we got 22 minutes out of it. We were going to do 25. We heard between 20 and 30, but it just quit, and I'm thinking it probably ran out of fuel. So I only put a little bit in there, but ran well. We had a little bit of oil leak in the front, probably from where I had to pull the timing chain cover back off. But it ran. It's off. Nothing blew up. So we're going to go get some fresh air. We'll be back later.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that went well. I did check the gas tank, and it was empty, so that's good. It did run out of gas. It didn't break. So put some more gas in it. So we're going to start it up, see what it sounds like at idle. Hopefully it won't smoke up too bad. I'm going to throw some more starting fluid in it, as we did before. It wouldn't run, so we'll see what happens. as you heard, the truck sounds great and runs great. Only problem is it's overheating. So I did have to pull the engine back out. I'm doing head gaskets to it. I'm going to get it back together for you guys, and I'm going to do a big burnout so you can see that in a future episode. Right now, check out the bloopers, and at the end, I'll put some more of that engine idling for you.
Well, that's it for this episode. You can leave comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications when new videos are uploaded.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, stay positive, keep on wrenching.
Did that record? And yes, my beard is purple. Bloopers. Where, oh where did my cam lab go? Cam lobe go. Can't even sing right. Alright, let's go put it on. In. This is how to move the camera when your hands are full of cam lube.
Wait, move over. We got to make sure we're both in the scene.
I can't see anything.
I can't see
The battery's blinking.
No, that's recording.
Oh.
Up and running?
Do you feel like there's any danger to this? Honestly. Because I feel like we're dealing with gas and electricity and all that. You're spraying gas?
I'm going to spray ether into the carburetor.
That doesn't sound right.
I was going to shut the door. Can't shut the door.
Oh, when I was on tape.
That's
was
it.
talking-